there's one thing that I want to do more this year, it is to create more. Whether it's sewing, painting, drawing, or making gifts for people with my own two hands. I just want to be able to make things personal again. I want to be able to make things for myself rather than having to make things for my small business. I feel like I get into like an art block, art funk a lot, especially these last few years, only because I'm constantly thinking about the next thing for my business. And when you're thinking about just your business and what everyone else will like, you kind of hit like a wall of creativity because you're always thinking about like what's the next best thing, what's trending right now. You don't really have room to be creative. And whereas when you're creating for yourself, you are able to make mistakes. You're able to give yourself more grace. For example, when I'm painting, I'm able to try new colors that I usually wouldn't have because I feel like for my brand, I have like a set amount of brand colors that I like to use so that everything seems more cohesive. And so when I'm painting, I get to try new colors. I get to try mixing things. So that allows me to be just more creative in a chaotic, organized fashion, allowing my brain to just like expand a little bit more in terms of imagination and creativity. So this year, I want to just make more things. And I used to do a lot of snail mail for my friends. And so I want to get back into that. I want to make things for my friends again. I feel like, especially last year, I haven't sent a thing because I've been so busy. So this year, I want to prioritize that a little bit more and just be able to catch up with my friends in a very creative way. So I feel like I'm creating this series of like craft with me's or sew with me's. I don't know how I'm gonna name it yet, but I think I'm gonna start like a crafting series of things that I'm just making this year. So the first thing that I'm going to make is like these wine bag holders using some fabric. And so today's project is going to be a sewing one. And I'm excited about this one because I feel like it's a quote unquote easier project. It's not going to eat up my whole weekend. It's just gonna be a day project. I heard that the pattern is not too bad. So I haven't sewed since last summer when I made my own dress, which I will link here somewhere because I had a whole video of me making that dress. So I'm just gonna link it here if you would like to watch it. But today, let's make the wine bags. So close up to the fabric that I'm using, I'm gonna be using this like, I don't even know, like floral leafy kind of fabric. It's more knitted. And then I'm gonna use a gingham one, which is more, less stretchy. I don't know how to like describe these, but this is what it looks like. This is more of like a hand towel kind of texture, and it again, it's a knit, so it stretches a little bit more. So I think I'm gonna have this in the inner piece and then this on the outer piece. And I think it'll look good together because they're both green, but I think I like the inside a little bit more contrasting with white. It took me a second to figure out like how to cut the pattern because it's in German for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like there are some parts where it says like you have to fold the fabric and then you make something like this, whereas the pattern just comes in like one piece. So you would kind of have to like flip it on the seam, or not the seam, but like you fold the fabric and put this on the folded side, so you get the double piece mirrored like this, but it's not in two pieces, it's just one. The thing that's gonna happen is we're going to have to sew this top part together to make this handle. Like you can kind of see, you hold it like this, and then on the sides we kind of also sew it so that it creates this like little thing. And then we have one more pattern where it's just gonna be the long side. But now I have to also make the same piece, but for the inner liner so that we can sew it inside. Now that we have everything cut, we just want to pin the two fabrics together. If I learned anything from sewing, it is a majority of the time, you're gonna want to pin it so that it is inside out. So once you do sew it inside out, you flip it back to its original face. And when I say face, it means just like the side that you actually want to see once it is completed. So for example, it looks like this right now. It's inverted. The floral part is inside at the moment, so that's easier to tell like whether it's inside out or the right face. So once I do sew it, so I'm just gonna be sewing this part and like all along this edge. And so once I flip it, it doesn't look like it's actually sewed, or like you can't really see the seams. You can kind of get like this look like this. I'm showing a really bad example, but I'll show you once it's actually complete. But basically it just has like a very clean sew, but obviously right now I'm just pinning it, so it's a very bad example. But yeah, so this is the first step. Basically I have to like sew along the top edges and not the bottom part yet, because we're gonna attach this bottom part to a different piece. Here it is. I trimmed off some of the excess fabric on the edges so that it doesn't bulk up when I invert it. But for this particular pattern, you're supposed to only invert one of the handles, and it says something about like putting it into the other one. So I'm actually not sure how to do it. I'm trying to like watch a video actually to see how to exactly do it, and I'm going to try it out. So I'm taking one of them, inverting it out. They actually suggested using something to help poke it out, but I don't necessarily have something at the moment, so I'm doing it very manually. Oh my gosh, this looks really cute, by the way. I feel like it looks, this is the outside I was intending, and then the inside will look like this. So it looks really cute so far. But actually, let me find like maybe my paintbrush. Here we go. Use my paintbrush, the end of it, to just like start poking the corners so that it rounds out and it doesn't look bad. But here we go. Cool. So it looks like this so far. And let me just put it down. And a tip to make this rounded and not so jaggedy, let me just fix it a little bit more to make a better point here. Like you see how this is not as, I guess it's more like clean on the edges, more so than like a little bit jaggedy, is if you cut the corners a little bit, obviously not at the seam so it doesn't create a hole, but creating this like little nook and not just a straight rectangle helps with rounding the corners out a little bit. So anyways, I was watching the video and basically they said to take this side that we already inverted out to its regular form and to put it inside the other part that is not inverted yet. So I'm like really trusting the process here because I'm not really fully understanding what it's supposed to do, but we'll see. Yeah, it does help to have some sort of tool. Maybe I need like a ruler or something. I don't think I have one. Let me continue to use my paintbrush. I think I'm gonna just put it in here first. I'm gonna gently do it because I don't want to rip any seams, and just poke it in to the other side. I think, okay, that was much easier. So you just want to put something in the other hole first and then just poke it through. For me, I'm using my paintbrush. It's kind of hard to see though if it's like all the way in there, but I'm gonna trust that it is. So it kind of just looks like this right now. And they said I have to like sew this top part so that's together. Now that I've sewed the top, they said that I can technically snip this part, which I'm like kind of nervous about. I feel like I'm messing up or something. But technically I can snip this part. Let me just like rewatch it one more time to make sure that it's okay for me to do that. And then we're supposed to flip it back. Okay, so let's snip it. Oh my gosh. I'm so nervous that it's not the right thing, but it said I could do it. And again, let's snip the corners off a little bit so that it rounds out. Okay, moment of truth. Let's flip it back out. Gosh. Okay. I think we're on to something because it looks right. Oh gosh. Okay, it looks really cute actually. It looks like this so far. Oh my gosh, it's really cute actually. Yeah, okay. this is what it looks like so far. I love the color combo. Okay, so yeah, and now we just gotta make the body part. And I think this seems really easy actually so far, once you get a hang of it. Okay, the lighting's getting really bad because it's starting to become evening time. But after many trials and errors and the seam ripping, I think I'm getting somewhere, and I'm starting to just pin things and testing it out before actually sewing it on, because I feel like I just keep messing up. And this is supposed to be a very simple pattern. I think where I messed up is, I think I was supposed to do the situation where I mirror the rectangle. Like, I thought I mirrored it though. Because I mirrored this part so that it's like folded and I have two sides, but for some reason it seemed wrong, so I made double that, and now I have two sides, but like, again, I mirrored it, and I need actually 4 pieces instead of 2, basically. And so now I have it inverted after many trials. And like I said, I'm starting to pin things more instead of actually just sewing it on, because I'm so tired of seam ripping it out and making mistakes. So I did this to see if when I invert it, will it look correct? And so let's give it a try. It seems like everything, thank God, oh my gosh, it looks correct so far. It's like this. And then I think I just end up sewing this edge closed. But we also have the circle part on the bottom, which I'm not 100% sure how to do at the moment. I'm like trying to piece it together in my head right now, because the instructions was very bad and I just can't figure out how to like read it correctly. The photos that they're providing are pretty bad. Like, I think I'm more of like a video learner more so than pictures and words. So this one, I was looking to see if there was like a YouTube video or a TikTok instruction, but there isn't for this particular pattern. It's like a different one, and that one looks more easier. And the ones that people are using on YouTube and TikTok seem way easier, but I don't think I have enough fabric to make another set if I were to just start over with a new pattern. So we're gonna just try and figure this out. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I think I'm just thinking way too much about it. So let's do what we can for now on what we have, and we'll figure out the next step in a second. And when it comes to this like seam thing, and to make sure that it's not like sticking up like this, I learned that you just have to sew it down. I learned that while I was sewing the dress last summer. So I feel like I'm starting to learn. So I'm excited. You just gotta sew it all down, and then it shouldn't pop out like that. Now that it's sewed, let's invert it, please. Let's make sure that there's no errors or anything. Oh, thank God. It looks great. I think I just have to clean it up a little bit in terms of the seams and stuff, but otherwise it's looking like a wine bottle holder. Also, I'm like covered in thread just from seam ripping everything. So I'm just so proud. I'm not even done yet, I know, but I'm proud of myself for getting this far. The next step, honestly, I think I might have to invert it back, because I'm trying to think about like the next step of the circle. Oop. of the circle bottom and how it's going to play and how it's all going to fit together. I'm also wondering if I should just sew the circle first and invert it back out and then put it with the rest, or I don't know. I just don't want to like have to sew this circle together and then rip it apart because it's gonna look weird because I have to like invert it back anyway. Okay, I think I'm gonna sew the circle first and then put it with the rest of the bottle. But I think I'm gonna add some padding to it. I do have some padding from when I was trying to make like a Kindle sleeve, book sleeve thingy. So I'm gonna try and do that because if it's gonna hold like heavy wine glass bottles, I'm gonna want it to make sure it doesn't break on the bottom. So let me add some padding to this. Okay, so we sew the circle part. The outer facing is the padding, and then the inside is the actual fabric itself. And so for these kind of situations, you always want to leave a little opening so that you can invert it back out. But before I do that, I think I'm gonna trim a little bit. And the key to these is to like do a little triangle in certain parts so that it opens, or it like doesn't create any weird edges or anything, is what I learned. It's the same situation as the handlebar earlier where you did a little triangle shape, just so that it comes out more clean and rounded, more so than jaggedy. And for this one, I'm getting a lot of I'm trimming a lot because I don't want it to be too bulky. I'm still in my head trying to like figure out what the next step is, to be honest. Really don't know after I invert this like what the next step is going to be. So let's just invert it first and get that win. It feels pretty thick too, so I'm glad the padding is working. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to like push out. This was worse than the handlebar because this is so much smaller. This is kind of small actually. I feel like, I mean, this is the pattern they gave us, but I feel like it's kind of small. So we have this already inverted to its what's supposed to be. I'm just trying to think out loud how to do this. I think I might have to revert it back first before I do the next thing. Okay, I think I figured it out. Not sure 100%, but I'm just gonna go with it. I know I said I was gonna pin it first before sewing anything, but I think I'm pretty confident in this. I think I just have to do this. Like this, and then like circle it around and flip it. I feel like that didn't make any sense, but I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So let's do it. The bottom is sewed. It's not like totally pretty, but I think it'll do, especially when it like inverts back. So it inverts like this. Okay, and we have a bottom, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like, I don't to make it like super, super clean because it does feel a little bit bulky or like jaggedy on the bottom. Doesn't feel 100% circular, but I think it'll do and it'll do the job well. I'm just trying to make sure every little nook and cranny is stretched out to make the biggest bottom. Okay, perfect. I think I just sew it like this again, inverted, and because there's a top already, I can invert it back. Yeah, I think that makes sense. For sewing anything, I'm going to try and clean this up a little bit so that it's easier when everything is open already and I don't have to like reach in there to like cut any specific part of the, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm already messing up with just cutting. But yeah, it's definitely easier when everything is open out like this rather than having it sewed and you can like reach in to cut everything. And she's done, ladies and gents, hopefully. Let's just invert it back to the way it was. I might just do like last minute cleanings, trimmings when it's done, but oh my gosh, okay. Wow, it's actually taller than I thought, but let me actually get a wine glass or a wine bottle to see if it truly works 100%. Oh, I'm so proud of myself for finishing this. It took a minute, but I think it'll be easier the next go around because now I know where I messed up on certain places. Yeah, the bottom is not like 100% circular, only because I'm so bad at like sewing circle shapes, especially with like other fabrics, but it does look really good overall. I think I really like it. I just got a bottle and see if it fits. Ooh, it fits, it works, and all of the above. I wish it was like just a little bit shorter. I think if I were to make the next one, I would make it a little bit shorter so that like it sticks out like this much. And then the handle is like right there. Just because I think it's a little bit more cuter if you can see the bottle a little bit. Like, look at this. If you just do that, but then like the handle will be too short. But like just this amount, I think would be kind of cute to like hold. But oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. And now you can kind of just like hold it. I'm gonna move my chair a little bit. But you can hold your bottle like this. Oh my gosh, you could actually hold it like that. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I don't even drink alcohol, but I feel like I gift alcohol a lot to like friends and family. So I think this is really cute to just like have and like bring to your host or your guests or whoever, your friends, family, whoever. I'm so proud of myself. This is the first project of 2026.